just understand, you can go back to the episode. I've talked about it quite extensively before in my previous episodes, but you can actually go back to the show and see what I'm talking about. So because it was said on the show, I'm going to talk about it. But the only thing that I'm thinking about is Margaret made a little joke. That was season 12? It wasn't this season. It was the last season, I believe. So it was at the keg party. I talked about this quite extensively, and I've said before that I do not feel like when Margaret made that joke, I don't think it was a joke. I think Margaret was testing the waters. People could say, well, she makes a lot of jokes. Yeah, she makes a lot of jokes, granted, but a lot of her jokes turned out to be like information, like real information that she has on people. So, if you don't believe me, just go back and just watch the show. Because I'm saying, like, she's done it with even Teresa, like when she was trying to find information from from Melissa, to see if Teresa was dating anyone at the time. Teresa was not telling. Melissa obviously knew, and Joe Gorga knew. But I have to say that on camera, Melissa was really good at not talking about it. She was just like, no, she's not seeing anyone. Like, I'm sure she dates, but there's no one special. And the person who ended up spilling the bean was Joe Gorga. Joe Gorga, he spilled the beans to the men after golfing, and he said that Teresa was in love. So then when the women got invited to the party at the real estate broker Michelle's house, that's when Margaret kind of said to the women, Teresa's in love. She released that information she knew that Teresa did not want that out. And Teresa happened to be walking by at that point. And she said, what did you say? And she's like, oh, I said that you're in love and your brother said it. So she completely threw Joe Gorga under the bus for her own doing, for her own enjoyment, I would say. So if you notice the little face that she makes too, it's really funny. So she did that. And then again, what she did to Jennifer that first season, I know, granted, they were going back and forth, and Jennifer was kind of being like a little judgmental towards Marge as to how she met her husband, Joe Benigno. And she was being like a little bit judgmental about it because, it involved cheating. And then eventually Margaret kind of said, yeah, you don't care about where your husband sleeps, whether it's in your bed or in the pool house or, his mistress' house or apartment or something like that. And then that's when Jen said, you better stop with that, you better shut the fuck up. That's when Jen said that. And then Margaret apologized, and the women were just like, wow, that's a very strong accusation. Is there any validity to it? And then Margaret was like, no, I'm sorry. I just said it to hurt you. I know nothing about your marriage. Fast forward to last season, Margaret, in her confessional, admits to the producer that it's not like I didn't allege to this before, right? She said, I kind of alleged to this before, and then they show that particular clip of previous seasons where Margaret basically spilled the bean to Jennifer and the woman about Jennifer's marriage, right? So I do not believe that when Margaret says something that it's ever by accident. Okay, this woman is very smart, although I do not know her, but you could see she's smart and she's very, very sly. So I don't know. When Margaret made that little joke at the keg party, I always had a feeling that was true.